Rumours are rife at Pride Park and a lot of changes have to be made heading into Tuesday's night's game up against Swansea City. But what is the reason for that? Now, point number one, Dion Sanderson is expected to miss out after picking up his 5th yellow card up against Watford on Saturday. And we all know Carlton Morris took a knock early on in that game and was forced off the field after just 18 minutes. Now, the rumours aren't looking positive for Carlton Morris, with rumours suggesting that this could be an ACL injury, but that's something we'll get into in this video. Now, obviously, if you have not done so already, make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and turn on the notification bell. This is the Derby Digest. Let's get into it. I will be live tonight from around 7:15 until the end of play in Derby County versus Swansea game. We're going to be watching along Derby County versus Swansea, hoping to see Derby County pick up another victory. But you can obviously let me know your thoughts on that later on today. Make sure you're here at 7 PM. Bye-bye, guys. Now, for me, there's a few things to discuss. So let's discuss Dion Sanderson first. Now, Dion Sanderson, in my opinion, was very lucky not to receive a red card in the game up against Watford. I think it was within the first half, absolutely sived someone down from the Watford team who was on a counter-attack. Got booked a yellow card, but unfortunately he picked up a yellow anyway, so he's out for this game on Tuesday night. Now, who's going to come in for him? There's many different ways that Derby County could play this, and that links in to the next player. Now, Carlton Morris expecting to miss out on this one and potentially up to the next year of football. Now, as I sit here recording, we have had John Eustace pre-match media, but we have not had confirmation of injury length or anything like that from what I heard. Now, I could be wrong. I could have absolutely missed it, but we don't seem to have an update on Carlton Morris, which is obviously disappointing. We'd like to know what's going on with him and like to know what the situation is going forward, but obviously he will be expected to miss out, if not at minimum the next month or so. It could be anywhere up to 12 months if it is the ACL injury that people are suggesting. Now, obviously, we know about Curtis Nelson. He is going to be missing out on this game and going to be missing out on every game up until the start of January, where Derby County get the opportunity to re-register him. However, he has been playing for the 21s. I think he's played 3 games now, a 45. I think he's played 2 60s and a 90, but you can correct me on that down in the comments, and we'll wait and see how his return goes and if he does ever return to the Derby County first team. Now, massively important to discuss David Ozo. He missed out on the weekend as expected and is expected to miss out for the next 3-ish weeks, which is disappointing, don't get me wrong, but I think it's a positive for Derby County. But ultimately, as much as it's a positive, I also think Derby County are a much worse team with him. I think we saw that on Saturday. I don't think Derby County ever really got control of the midfield. And ultimately, I feel like that's massively down to not having David Ozo in there, who genuinely is one of the most calm and composed players in EFL football. Now, we're obviously also missing out on Lewis Travis. Obviously, I think it was before the game at the weekend, John Eustace said that he was going for a second scan in order to reassess the injury, see sort of where he is in terms of recovery, because he's not quite as far along as the club were hoping he was, but he's still improving, still getting closer and closer as every day passes, but we're going to have to wait and see how that progresses. Now, in terms of Max Johnston, we're still expecting him out for the next month or so. I wouldn't really expect to see him until sort of like mid-December at earliest. I do believe he's back on the grass. I think that was confirmed by John Eustace before the game against Watford, which is going to be very, very interesting to see how quickly we start to see him back in training pitches with the squad and things like that. And that will give us sort of an understanding of when he's going to be back into the first team. Now, we spoke about Owen Beck already over the course of the last few days. He's obviously not going to return to Derby County. He's unfortunately had to undergo major surgery on his hamstring, which will see him out for the next 3 to 4 months, which is massively disappointing for Owen Beck and obviously disappointing for Derby County as well. Now, the last one that I want to get into is Ryan Brewster. He's picked up another injury. He's expected to miss out on at least these next couple of games, and it is disappointing. It's really disappointing with Ryan Brewster because I don't know. I spoke about it in a video. I think it was on my main channel about Ryan Brewster, because I just felt as if he needed that opportunity on that right-hand side instead of Brereton Diaz. And I genuinely believe that he probably would have got that opportunity on Saturday had he not picked up this injury, which I believe is a hamstring injury, which will probably see him out for at least 3 to 4 weeks. But we'll sort of see sort of how that progresses with John Eustace when he does do media after the game on Tuesday, which I believe we'll probably get a bit more information on Carlton Morris and a little bit more information on Rhian Brewster as well. But it's difficult. Derby County have a couple of huge decisions to make as we head into this game, and it realistically, how are they going to make their decisions? So we've got 2 players that are set to miss out in Dion Sanderson and Carlton Morris, and there's a couple of ways that Derby can play this for me. Now, in terms of Carlton Morris, let's go through him first. You can put Ajimang central and bring in a Corey Blackett-Taylor. Bring in, and where is Andy Vyman? Bring in an Andreas Vyman, a Caden Jackson. I think Lennon Wilden's still out on loan, so he probably won't be the one. But yeah, so you've got those sort of options. Now, for me, I don't think this works. Personally, I don't think this works. So for me, if I was to make this call, I'm going Lars-Jørgen Selverson every day of the week. I think Selverson is the most like for like in terms of Carlton Morris and Derby County. And I think if Derby County want to continue to play the way we've been playing, I think Selverson has to be the one leading the line. I was actually very shocked at the weekend when Andreas Vyman came on for Carlton Morris instead of Selverson, because I thought this was a perfect opportunity to give Selverson that chance to prove himself when it isn't really sort of gone his way so far this season. Not really had the opportunities that maybe he would say that he deserves. But obviously with Carlton Morris being in great form, it is a little bit understandable. Now, obviously the big discussion with Selverson is how would he link up with Ajimang and Diaz. And I actually think it'd probably match up a lot better than if you put Vyman in and put Ajimang central. I'm going to be completely honest. I don't like Ajimang as a central striker. I don't think he has the quality just yet in order to play that role effectively. However, in the future, he may get there. But right now, for me, Ajimang has to play off the left where he can run at players. He's not playing with his back to goal that much, really, and he can cause problems that way. So then your next change is in the centre-half position. Now, for me, what are your options? You've got Danny Bart, who could step in. Craig Forsyth can step in. Ryan Niambi could step in. Obviously, Curtis Nelson can't. Who else have you got in that centre-back position? I actually think that is it. So you've got Ryan Niambi, you've got Ryan Niambi, you've got Danny Bart, and you've got Craig Forsyth. Now, for me, if you go Niambi, you probably play like this back three. You probably have Langas out on the left, Clark through the middle, Niambi as your right-sided centre-half. However, I think it's probably going to be Danny Bart, and we'll probably go Langas, Bart and Clark. But if it was me that's going to make the call, and that is what we're talking about here, I would go with Craig Forsyth. Put Craig Forsyth through the left, Matt Clark through the middle and Langas on the right. And then everything else looks pretty much the same. Now, obviously, a lot of this will depend on Callum Elder being fit and available and ready to go. Obviously, he's had a few issues recently in terms of illness and things like that. So if Elder's not involved, then you instantly know that Danny Bart's coming in. But obviously, we're not going to know until Tuesday night anyway. So we are going to have to sort of wait and see how this all shapes up on Tuesday night, which is a massive fixture for both Derby County and for Swansea City. Obviously, Swansea City looking to find a way back to winning ways with the new manager, and Derby County looking to bounce back from that 3-2 defeat. Now, obviously, you can let me know your thoughts on this down in the comments. If you have not done so already, this has been the Derby Digest. Make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and turn on the notification bell. I'll catch you in the next one. Bye-bye, guys.